Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the 12th chapter of Social Science Indian Democracy. When we see the word democracy, it means demos. Demos means people, and the word is kratos. Kratos means rule. This is a Greek word. Demos, people, kratos, rule. It is a form of government in which the people have the authority to choose their governing legislator. So, when we talk about Indian democracy, India has the highest number of voters in the world. Population wise, India is the largest democratic country of the world. This amazing democracy is more than 6 decades old, and during this period in India, there has been many political upheavals and ups and downs. The Indian democracy is sustained due to the dedication and insights of its citizens. We shall study in detail the characteristic features of Indian democracy, and that first we are going to see about election in democracy. When we are talking about election in democracy in the world, many countries have democracy, right? But India is the largest democratic country in the world, and in a democratic, a voter has the liberty to cast his own vote. Although the right to vote remains the same in each democratic country, the governance of each country may vary. It can be different. The democracy thrives through the voting process of the voters during the elections. Our country has a parliamentary system, and so our parliament is considered as the national institution that represents the people. And in our parliament, it consists of the president, the vice president, Rajya Sabha, and Lok Sabha. And as we have seen in the earlier chapter, Rajya Sabha is called the upper house of the parliament and Lok Sabha is called the lower house of the parliament. The state has the legislative assembly. Some states have the legislative councils. A voter is at the center in forming a Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, and Legislative Assembly or Council. In our country, all the governing bodies are elected through voting, thus, democracy is realized by election. The voters they elect the governing bodies by voting through the process called election. Hence, we can say that elections are the lifeline of a democracy. Our next topic is democracy and voter. When we are talking about democracy and a voter is one of the most important part of a democracy. Our country has a universal adult suffrage. What is the meaning of adult suffrage? Adult suffrage means right to vote. That means a person of 18 years or above who is enlisted in the voter list can cast vote. A person not declared bankruptcy or not mentally unstable can vote without any discrimination. A constitution of democratic India guarantees an equal right to vote irrespective of person's caste, creed, education, or religion. Voting is an important process in democracy. In our country, as we have seen earlier, there is a universal adult suffrage that means right to vote to each and every citizen. Voting is a right as well as duty of citizen, and that is why every voter should exercise the right to vote. Hence, the government through the election commission take utmost care that all the voters across the country, even army men who are on duty at odd locations, are able to vote during elections to see that no injustice is done to the voters and the voting system take place smoothly and transparently, and that is why the election commission works independently in an autonomous manner. Our next topic is election, the foundation of democracy. As we have seen, election is the foundation of democracy because we have seen earlier that through election only the governing bodies are formed. Hence, the voters they elect the governing bodies. It is the most important event on which democracy exists. We can see an environment similar to festival during elections. Based on the past work records, people can evaluate the performance of the candidates, and then they can go for the voting for the election for the right candidate. Any citizen who fulfills the prerequisite to contest elections can do so. It is not compulsory, right, for a candidate to belong to any political party for contesting election, right? In a democracy, only with the support of the people one can reach to power. In democracy, parliament is the apex body and the basic fundamental block is the gram panchayat. Elections are held in the institutions of self government like gram panchayat, taluka panchayat, district panchayat. Candidates in this institution of local self-government are chosen through elections. Elections are conducted in municipality, in towns and municipal corporation in cities. Election is the lifeline of national democracy. Elections are very important for the political parties as well as candidates. As I told earlier, election gives a picture of country's social and economic environment. Election decides the future of the government. Elections are extremely important for both the political parties as well as the candidates. Election provides opportunity to evaluate the candidate. Election brings in a new political setup and political waves. We can see the power is obtained as well as maintained by the support of the people. Election being soul of a democracy, it is essential that it is transparent. After elections, the government is formed by the winning candidate belonging to a political party or a coalition of parties, the merging of the two parties. The winning candidate and the party obtained as well as maintained power by the support of the people, that means through their votes. Thus, it is said that it is the lifeline of our democracy. Our next topic is public opinion in democracy. It is very important the candidates and his party that wins election would like to regain and retain its power in future. The candidate who wins the election represents the people. In representative system, the ruling party would like to regain and retain its power. To regain and retain its power, it becomes essential for the political parties to connect with the people. By connecting with the people, they can know the opinion of the people for the parties and the candidates. This is called public opinion. To maintain and run the government, it becomes essential for them to go to the people to see their point of view, and then they can frame policies for various questions pertaining to many problems. Public opinion is highly essential for political parties, representatives, and organizations. Collective public opinion is extremely important in democracy. Strong and organized public opinion is very important. Malfunctioning of the government can be presented through public opinion. It helps in creating such a condition where the government cannot avoid to or government cannot afford to misrule or neglect the country. They cannot neglect the problems of the people. They cannot neglect the opinion of the people, and hence they cannot afford to neglect the country. Public opinion makes people aware about the right or wrong doings of the government. If government is doing something wrong, If it is not governing properly, then people can know through the help of public opinion. Alert and intelligent public keeps itself informed, cannot be misled by the government. Various mediums in the modern times have proved to be very important in creating public opinion. Hence, we can say that the alert and awakened and intelligent public of this country, they cannot be misled by the government. Hence, government has to take care about the public opinion, and which is very helpful in democracy. Our next topic is media of public opinion in democracy. Now here we are going to see the media. Like media means to cultivate the human psyche and to create a strong public opinion. The various information and broadcasting agencies are useful. In today's time, various mediums are used to transmit information to the public, and these mediums contributing to build strong and effective public opinion. So, first is print media. In today's world, newspapers, periodicals, and journals are few of the strongest form of print medias. Print media helps people to evaluate their opinions either in favor or against information. It is essential, it is very necessary that opinions created are true, firm, and unbiased. And if print media presents biased or false details, then it is possible to create a false public opinion. So it is the duty of the media to see that whatever information they are providing to the people, it should be always true and firm and unbiased. It is absolutely essential to have freedom of press so that a false public opinion is not created. One, ours is a diverse nation in terms of language, culture, and regional varieties. The regional newspapers are much sought after in corresponding regions. Regional newspapers have an immense contribution in cultivating public opinion. We can see that newspaper reaching into the various region, into the various languages are very much helpful to the people to gain the knowledge of the surrounding. Print media has failed in cultivating public opinion in countries and regions having less literacy rates. In spite of this, various organizations, industrial groups, and political parties publish their own dailies or periodicals owing to the influence of what? Printed material. The government publishes various periodicals and issues providing important information for the people. Hence, this is the duty of print media. Like they have to give a true and unbiased news to each and every region, to each and every people of whatever language, whatever caste, whatever region. So regional newspapers, they are printed and hence they play important role in gathering public opinion of such region. Till date, print media, it has failed in cultivating public opinion in regions having less literacy. People are not literate, they are not able to read the newspaper. And to overcome these problems, various organizations or industrial groups, they have started their own dailies, they have started their own journals, right? So in their own language, into regional language, into tiniest regions. And apart from this, even government is taking steps to provide important information to gather public opinion. Our next media is electronic media. Audio visual media like radio, television, cinema, etc. They are important in cultivating public opinion. Electronic media is more effective in the regions of lower literacy rates, where people are not able to read and write. At least they can see and they can hear the information, the news which is given to them. it is seen that radio and televisions are considered far more important than newspaper and periodical. Live telecast of incidents occurring nationally as well as internationally can be easily made available through the mediums of radio and television. A public opinion can be created through the serials, dramas, and movies, which are considered as an important part of a society because it can cover the problems like untouchability, dowry system, exploitation, and poverty in an entertaining manner. In India today, worlds apart from the television, the arrival and spread of internet had helped people to enjoy news serials, dramas, movies, sitting comfortably in their homes, and all this media can create an adverse effect to the presentation of distorted, obscene, and violent information. So, it is very much necessary and important to control transmission of harmful content through important mediums. In a democracy, it is desired that NGOs they protest against various obscene and violent programs telecasted by the electronic media. Today, in the fast moving age of technology, people can stay in constant touch with each other through the medium of internet or smartphone. They can exchange their thoughts and ideas, and it is very fast. Like electronic media is widely used in cultivating public opinion. In today's time, rumors spread instantly in the absence of facts and details. There is remains of danger of false public opinion being generated. Various types of surveys carried out by electronic media help create public opinion. And it is said that public opinion with the it is sometimes it is created by taking opinion polls and they are presented during the elections. This opinion polls they help to estimate the direction of public opinion. Opinion polls are not always true and reliable, so we have to be careful about the public opinion generated through the opinion polls. Next is electronic media. It is very important in today's time, and it is said that the people and the government should exercise patience. It also helps transmit people's thoughts and details, and they talk to the government, and similarly, they take transmit details about the various plans and achievements of the government to the people. Radio can reach in distant and remote areas, but it is only audio media. It has been less effective. Television programs, through expensive in nature, have gained more public viewership than radio. So it is desirable that public opinion should be cultivated so as to cater the needs of the welfare of nation. Now we are going to see types of democracy. Various our country has accepted various countries in the world have democracy. There still exists diversity within various democracies of different countries, but our country, when we are talking of our country, India, parliamentary democratic system exists. In a country like USA, there is presidential parliamentary system, and we will see about the two types of democracy, that is parliamentary democracy and presidential democracy. So first, our own country, that is parliamentary democracy. In a parliamentary democracy, the president appoints the leader of the party who gets the majority number of seats in the Lok Sabha as the prime minister. As earlier we have seen, we are going through the process of election. And after the election, the majority party who wins have the chance to make the government. And that particular moment, the president he appoints the leader of the party as a prime minister. The prime minister forms the government, and the parliamentary government is completely accountable, answerable to the Lok Sabha. Government remains in power as long as it enjoys the confidence of the majority of the members of the parliament. Our next is presidential democracy. When we are talking about presidential democracy, it's the second important type of democracy, and in such a type of democracy the president is directly elected by the people. The president remains in power for a specific period as mentioned in the constitution, and presidential democracy is prevalent in many countries including USA. We have seen in recent times, we have seen the elections in USA where Mr. Trump was the president, and now Mr. Joe Biden is elected as the new president of USA. So there we are having presidential democracy. Let us see our next topic, that is election system in democracy. As we have seen earlier, our country is the largest democratic country in the world. That means we have the maximum number of voters in the world. The Election Commission maintains the administration, control, and monitoring of the entire process of election. It is essential for any democracy that its election commission is independent, impartial, and autonomous. It is mandatory to maintain the autonomy of the election commission. In the constitution, there is special provision for the terms and conditions of appointing the election commissioner, the criteria of service, the removal, suspension from their service, responsibility, authority to hold election, and the parliament, right? So this is how we can see that we have the election commissioner who is appointed, and then after the other election commission who is appointed,